Did he just say he was innocent and they killed him anyway?
They're hardcore.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's a real kangaroo court.
Save it. I'll save
which
it.
I'll say later, I guess.
I'll save it.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast. This is your weekly podcast that delivers a minute-by-minute breakdown of the 1986 Transformers movie. This is episode 52, guys, and we're going to cover 51 to 52. Basically, that's how it works. I don't know why I'm whispering. But I'd like to welcome...
Doesn't matter. Nobody's listening anymore.
everybody to the show, especially after that Clips episode. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Aaron. It's my privilege to allow these two hungover bastards, who I know celebrated St. Paddy's Day with gusto this year. And, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi.
I'm Ryan. I'm Nick Nolte. I'm feeling bad. I did this accent like for 10 seconds on an episode that I just listened to.
I don't believe this for a second because you're a functioning alcoholic.
Oh, come on, man. I'll still go to work.
As long as you still have functioning in front of alcoholic, you get a pass.
Yeah, that's right. So, you're drunk right now.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm awake, so yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. I don't know.
Great. Great.
So guys, I feel like I should have primed you that this is our St. Paddy's Day episode. We've grown up around Scottish Duck in the form of Uncle Scrooge, groundskeeper Willie.
Oh, God.
Even in G.I. Joe, did you guys know that Destro was Scottish?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I did.
So
Even
there
though
were
he was
no
black.
Scottish Transformers, guys. What's up with that? The lack of Scottish representation in the Transformers world. How do we remedy
technically-
that? What would that look like? Fan contest. Scottish Transformer. What
It
does
feels
he
like
turn
this is
into?
going to get racist.
Yeah, no, it's
Real
not
fast.
Racist. No, it's not racist. Just ethnically, probably.
Maybe culturally insensitive.
Sensitive.
But
What's the difference?
I'd say,
I guess Scottish is
because
not
I
a
don't
race.
hate Scottish people. I'm just ignorant.
Well, this is gonna get cut
Also,
out.
St. Paddy's Day is Irish. Why am I
Yep.
talking about Scottish?
Wow.
Why the fuck did you do that? Why the fuck did you do that?
I'm glad that this...
This is a wasted intro.
And I can't believe I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it.
I didn't either. I don't know why I went down this rabbit hole.
This is terrible.
I've heard that St. Patrick was actually French.
I hate this episode already. I will say that until this year, last year, I did not realize St. Patrick's Day was always on the same day. And I know that now because that is West's birthday.
What does she want for her birthday?
The fuck?
We don't really do schedule presents like birthday and Christmas and
All
stuff.
right, this is boring. Last episode recap. We learned that a bunch of gibberish words strung together and combined with a snack-sized portion of robo-calories won't solve all your problems. That brings us to the top of the 51st minute. With Kup's declaration that he was out of energon goodies, a congregation of Allicons transform, converge upon Hot Rod and Kup. They tackle them, and basically, there's a little brawl going on here. Let me.
I will say the first second of this, Hot Rod looks straight up terrified, and rightly so.
I like how he chucks his container of energon over his shoulder.
I didn't even
Pez
notice that.
dispenser of energon.
Yeah, he totally he's just sorry, nothing. And, instead of he should shove it back in his crotch, but instead he throws it over his shoulder.
You don't have time for all that shit. You got to get ready for a brawl.
I guess so.
So the Allicons swarm and tackle these guys, and a strange orange being, I paused it, but you didn't see it. A strange orange being transforms into a car and burns out. He hops over some rocks, looks at the situation, transforms, and burns out. So obviously we all know that's Wheelie. I feel like Wheelie is kind of analogous to that wild child in the Road Warrior.
The Feral Kid.
Oh, yeah.
He's known as the Feral Kid. And his name is Emil Minty.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you for aggressively busting out the knowledge on this.
Well, we all know
He does love Road
we all know
Warrior.
that it's my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, and I speaking of those big looker books, I had one with Wheelie where he was like, he had a slingshot.
The wild child of
Exactly.
Quintesson.
Yep.
Is that not what they called him?
I think so.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll post a picture of that, but yeah, that was the one I had. He had like a slingshot with like burning rocks in it and stuff.
Gotcha. Well, Wheelie transforms and drives away. He's not helping at this point.
No.
But, he's collecting information, I suppose. And we, after the Allicons basically tackle Hot Rod and Kup, get them into a submission, then we see a large tower. We transition to a large tower with very interesting architectural elements, some corkscrew spires and archways, and as we pan...
Which looks very much like their ships later.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. So as we pan from the sky to the ground, we see the Allicons are escorting Kup and Hot Rod into the building. The orange car, of whom we know nothing of at this point...
Well, at least he hasn't spoken, which is always a blessing when he's on screen.
Jesus Christ. Worst character ever. Swerves into the screen... and speeds away, I guess, as a reminder to us, the viewer, that there is some sort of element out there that
we don't know about yet.
we don't know about, and maybe it's good.
By the way, Emil Minty became a jeweler and has worked at what's called Chris Lewis Jewelers in Sydney's Gladesville since the early 1990s. So I want to tell all of our Australian listeners, on my behalf...
I want to tell all of our Australian listener...
Yes, on my behalf... please go to Chris Lewis Jewelers and get Emil Minty's autograph for me.
And then send it.
And then mail it to me.
Mail it. Okay.
And what's this worth to you?
My undying gratitude and
All right.
appreciation.
So, at the 51:21 minute mark, Kup and Hot Rod are in some sort of energon restraint, and Cup's got another story.
Reminds me of something. The Niter slave pits of something.
Slave mines of Galganeth.
There
7.
we go.
I did do some Googling to see if that showed up anywhere else, and there are some tangential relationships between that and the episode where, I can't remember what the creature was, but there was a big creature that had enslaved a lot of people, and Kup had gone, and they were like, free us, but he was too scared, and he ran away, but then and then back in the modern times, he went in and did free them, and that made up for his, a thing that he regretted his entire life. And so, but that was not Galganeth 7, that was a totally different situation, but I guess it had...
the spinoff could have been just like Cup's war stories. Like, just the shit that he's done.
There could be comic books. That would be an awesome...
I think so.
I'm trying to think. I know I've not read them, and we've gone into a lot of depth about how we haven't read the modern IDW comics. There is a series called Last Stand of the Wreckers. I feel like Kup was one of the Wreckers.
I think so.
And it's all about, that group of people. It was... The Wreckers started, as I understand it at least, as it was a kind of a subset of the British comic, so it was around during the Marvel days, the concept of the Wreckers and this kind of hardcore group of like just guerrilla soldiers that were total badasses. But they kind of reinvigorated it for the modern age. Haven't read any of that shit, sorry. But at any rate, so Kup and Hot Rod, energon restraints, Cup's telling stories. Hot Rod, at this point, he doesn't want to hear stories.
Every place reminds you of someplace else.
And I'll tell you, Kup doesn't want to hear his sass at this point either. And I understand that. So the team is guided into a large open room. It's kind of like a throne room. There's stairs. There's an elevated platform. A king of sorts is sitting there. And that king has tentacles, and there's others like him in the room. Of course, I think we'll come to know these beings as the Quintessons later on in life.
I mean, you're saying king, but he is a judge. But
he's got a throne.
Yeah, that's the most ridiculous part because he can't sit.
So we're paused at 5130. Why is there a chair?
Yeah.
Well, he hovers on a beam of energy.
True.
The tentacles, and it makes no sense. But I will say,
chair.
I will say this whole thing is cool. Like the idea of a Sharkticon pit is very neat. It's very creative.
When I was a kid, this was really disturbing to me.
Really?
Totally.
I was really like, this is fucked up. This whole situation.
This is one of the more, in my viscerally violent parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Just because it's
scary.
just killing for the sake of killing.
It was scary to me.
It's true. I will say, also the Sharkticon pool reminds me a lot of the smelting pool.
True. I
from
wonder if they
the
drew
Blaster
from
comic.
that. That would make sense if they drew from that. At this point, you don't really know what's in that pool. You see that there's a giant pit.
I figure it's not good.
You see that there's a person out on a plank of sorts. So you have to figure it's not good. You have to figure that there's a level of, there's a reason to be scared. And at any rate, so our friends, they walk in the room, and in the center room, they see the deep hole, they see the plank, they see the guards at the different vantage points, and Cup's like, hey, what's going on here?
What's going on in here?
That's pretty much what he says. And
What happened?
I don't think so.
So at the next point, we see a kind of... They didn't give a lot of these characters names, but there's sort of an H.R. Geiger-inspired Quintesson here.
So alien-looking. Look at his head shape.
Yeah, he's kind of I would assume he's the prosecutor of
That's
the group.
actually... I did have some information. I looked on the TF Wiki as to the Quintessons, and the guilty or innocent guy, is known as the prosecutor or inquisitor.
Oh, nice.
The switch thrower, which we'll see in a second, is called the executioner or gatekeeper.
Okay.
And then the master Quintessons are just known as judges.
Interesting. I did not know that they had
These things are
different names.
so crazy looking compared
are.
to anything that we've seen up to this point.
Yeah, especially the prosecutor's very H.R. Geiger, like you said, Aaron.
Yeah.
It's almost like they were like, okay, it's 2005. We're going into space. We're visiting different planets, different parts of the galaxy. We got to make some crazy shit.
I think they're finally allowing
Fluorodairy.
Fluorodairy to really
Yeah, he really just went with
From a visual perspective, for
to
sure.
really get what he wants.
So the torso of the creature shifts around, and we reveal it. Hey, this guy's got 5 faces.
Five faces. I bet they'll make a show about it.
I don't know what you're talking
Five
about.
Faces of Death.
I know. I was just
Oh, you delivered it
Man,
so deadpan.
all of every time I do that, it throws.
I just
you
don't
guys
think
off.
you're good at it.
Or you guys aren't good at picking up on it. I'm gonna blame you. Turns out he's reached a verdict, and that verdict is innocent. And with that, the plank releases, and a character drops into the Sharkticon pit. So there's lots of things to talk about here, because first of all, that character is Arbalest. You guys, watch this. Watch this.
So he didn't get away.
That is a Lithonian that's out there on the plank.
It is a Lithonian. I don't know if it's Arbalest, but presumably it's another one who got away, I guess.
The only reason that I'm claiming that it's Arbalest is because I noticed it and I did the research. And when you compare this to the animation model, that's Arbalest's
That doesn't make
animation
any
model.
sense.
And of course, we saw Arbalest sucked into Unicron.
Yeah.
And as he was sucked into Unicron, he said, Krennic.
Krennic.
So that caused me to go down a whole different rabbit hole, by the way, where I re-looked at that scene in the movie. And if you were to re-look at that scene in the movie, it's not him that gets sucked into
not
Unicron.
Arbalest, it's a different guy?
No, it's Krennic's.
So he's
Krennic's animation model gets sucked into Unicron. But we're
Isn't-
going to see...
Krennic's in the next scene.
Spoiler alerts. And so, at any rate,
Ugh.
things are all fucked up. But
We'll just call it some unknown third character,
Right.
just for the sake of continuity.
Well, if it was like the Quintessonian, that scientist guy that was the third,
the old man
Lithonian that sort of went with him, I mean, that would have at least made some kind of sense. Like, okay, he got away too,
Right.
But no, we've got a
Nope.
guy here that we believe to be dead based on him yelling the other character's name as he was sucked into the planet, but yet he's here. And then when you look at the animation model of the other character, it's the guy that we're going to see in a jail cell.
I did not even notice that.
Yeah, yep, it's a thing. It exists. So, major animation flubs, I suppose.
Yeah, so, well, I guess they were just, they just picked a character and put him out there, and maybe, I'm sure that this team did not have the full picture. They were just animating, their portion of it, so.
I don't know, but somebody's got to tie the threads together.
Sure, there should be a script supervisor.
In decent movies. Mm-hmm. If this were a live-action movie, this shit wouldn't fly.
No.
But that doesn't matter.
And
okay.
we do definitely see that there are animals in the
At
pit.
this point, there's some rabid...
Some kind of shark-looking things, which legit
I would say
have
they're
fins.
not shark-looking, but...
Well, they have fins that are circling like sharks.
Okay, fair enough. They're like piranhas with shark fins.
Yeah.
So, at any rate...
Piranarchs.
That's right. Yep. So...
That did not go over as I thought.
It's not the best onomatopoeia in the world.
It's not an onomatopoeia.
Pun.
It is a...
portmanteau.
There, we got it.
Portmanteau. So, the lever gets drawn, the character gets dropped, the Sharkticons, as we now know, are in this pit, pounce viciously upon this character, and
the Quintesson,
right as we
all the faces laugh.
And but that's where it is.
No, we're not.
The Quintesson judge cruelly laughs as it starts to rotate its axes, and Hot Rod has a quip. He says, "We got to find a new travel agent."
So dumb.
We're reverting back to Hot Rod as like a little punk ass.
It was
like a little smart ass motherfucker. Keep it going. Hey, we're doing well on time, Caleb.
No pressure, guys. If I need to leave, I'll leave and I'll call in.
If you have to leave, it won't make any difference.
Because you haven't said anything.
Fucking A. Sorry.
I'm just kidding. No.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was doing some business on the side.
I assumed that you were looking up things about Quintesson.
I was not.
He wasn't. He was
I was
texting.
doing some business on the side. I'm so sorry.
So let's talk about the Quintessons for a second.
Okay, I did go on the TF Wiki looking up the Quintessons there.
Can you tell us about the faces?
I can. I looked up the names. I did. So the Aaron likes that. It's good stuff. I'll put these up on the website so you can tell what they are. But basically, that skull-looking one is Death. The devil-looking one that's red around the crown is known as Rage or Wrath. The fat-faced-looking one with a handlebar mustache is Laughter or War. The bluish-green one with another facial mustache thing is Bitterness or Wisdom. And then the yellow and green one with the spikes, it looks like he has dreadlocks, is Doubt or Judgment.
Okay.
It said the names given above for the latter four faces come from the Japanese comic Bomb supplements. They are derived from the descriptions of the faces in the original script for the movie. Angry face, smiling face, grimace face, and suspicious face.
They're amazing looking, I should say. But
I love them.
They're really good.
I should have brought down these little guys. I got some. I'm not going to go over there and reach for them.
They are described also as traders, entrepreneurs, and businessmen, but dealings are rarely on the level, which basically they're the robotic Transformers version of the Ferengi from Star Trek The Next Generation.
They're very old, right? We don't know that by this point. But
We don't know anything.
You come to find later on in the series...
We know nothing about them at this
You come
point.
to find later on the series that it's kind of weak, but the animated series ultimately reveals that the Quintessons are the creators of the Transformers, and that the Transformers drove the Quintessons off the planet. I think I can't remember their discovery of their ability to transform, but they were basically
It is pre that.
turned on their masters and drove them off the planet. And so since then which is interesting because it was pre that, but since then the Quintessons have with their experiments adapted to transform.
Yeah, created beings that can transform.
But anyway, I like the Quintessons as a concept. I really do. but they never really tied it together in a very good way.
It's real loosey-goosey.
It's a kid's show, I guess.
But yeah, they're good. I like the space switching stuff, and just they're a pretty evil bunch.
Yeah, and they're like nothing had ever seen before. I mean, they're pretty out there.
Mm-hmm. That's Fluoro Dairy.
I do have a voice actor. So 2 actors voiced Quintessons. Roger C. Carmel, who we covered previously, he voices that prosecutor, and he also is the voice of Cyclonus.
Okay.
And also there's Regis Cordic, and he voices the judge, the ultimate judge. Okay. And he had a great career. He the first half of his career, he was a radio personality, and he had an amazing presence on drive time radio in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from about 1948 to 1965. He was rocking it. And he had a show called Cordic and Company. And he had a running gag. He had lots of running gags, but he had a running gag that was essentially a fake ad for beer. And,
okay.
And that beer was called Old Frothing Schloth. No, I said that incorrectly. Old Frothing Schlosh.
Okay.
That's very difficult to say.
Harder to say. The pale stout with the foam on the bottom. That was the joke.
Pretty funny.
He moved to LA to work in radio in LA, but there was a lot of contractual things that happened. Apparently, there was some lawsuits. He left his previous employer before
his contract
was out,
done.
and so there were some lawsuits, and it prevented him from honestly being a major radio personality. Like when he was hired to be a major radio personality,
so he might have been like a Howard Stern, like a syndicated across the nation.
Totally, absolutely, and. Because of that lawsuit, he wasn't able to start working in LA at the time that he was hired to work. And so in the meantime, he picked up acting gigs. He got TV roles. He worked on shows such as The Monkees, Flying Nun, Gunsmoke, Kung Fu, Columbo, The Waltons. And then in the late 70s, he got into cartoon acting. So
okay.
He did shows. He was on Scooby-Doo. Everybody was on fucking Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, it was on
Jesus
for
Christ.
a long time.
What a platform for voice actors. Jabberjaw, Spider-Man, The Incredible Hulk, and the Transformers. He voiced, essentially, on the television show Transformers, he voiced all the Quintessons. But he also did Minosaur. That was the other. So, which is, as the listener knows, is the combined form of the Stunticons. And, guys, do you want to take bets?
On whether he's alive or dead? I don't know if I like playing. I don't know if I like the...
All right, he's alive. He died. He died.
Okay, of course.
1999.
Damn it.
And to make it even more sad...
Great.
Brain cancer. Why are you laughing, Caleb? That is
terrible.
Caleb, I want to make it clear to the audience it's Caleb that's laughing because he's the favorite of our audience. I want you to know that Caleb laughs at brain cancer.
No, I just laugh at just like these voice actors have the worst fucking luck.
Well, nobody gets out alive. Something's gonna get you.
Or by the time they were doing Transformers the movie, they were in their 40s.
I guess. That's another thing. I guess I should say I'm amazed. I guess it was 30 years ago, but it's interesting that all of these voice actors were up in years by the time that they were doing this. We don't have any
I mean, with the exception of Susan Blue.
Yes, but for the most part, these voice actors...
The guy that did Springer is still alive as well.
Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of these guys that were doing this weren't like 20-somethings.
No, they were pretty established.
Peter
Cullen.
They were...
So Frank Welker.
Frank Welker, yeah.
Die.
Michael Bell's still around.
We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die.
But it's depressing.
It's interesting that, these are definitely established industry men that were well along in their career. And women that were well along in their career when this was going down. That's I consider that an interesting observation.
Well, even the main character...
I'm trying to dig myself out of laughing at brain cancer.
Okay.
Even the most established, Orson Welles, Leonard Nimoy, Robert Stack, like arguably the biggest legacy Hollywood names.
Yeah.
Orson Welles died 5 days later.
In that 30th anniversary interview, there's a lot. Nelson Shin talks about Orson Welles' voice acting in that as well.
I really want to hear about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bonus episode on the way. We'll
Apparently.
probably record it and use it as another buffer for a time that we don't have
Sync
to
schedules?
record things.
Don't pull back the curtain.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I guess I should get a copy of that so I can read it.
It's
when the
pretty
time comes.
awesome.
All right, cool.
So, let's talk about Quintesson design. I want to show you guys one thing real quickly. Florodairy originally had very different designs for the Quintessons, and this is certainly something that we will put on our website. But they were pretty weird. Not that the current design, the design that made it on screen, isn't weird. But originally they were kind of bipedal. This is the original design of the Quintesson. They were more bipedal.
Yeah,
I guess
they're
is the right
More
word,
traditionally, they're weird and
they don't
skinny.
have Quintesson legs that really perform no function and support themselves on a laser.
I don't
beam.
hate this. I like it actually.
I know
It's cool, but
I like the final design better, but I do like this.
I can see from this design where that was how it was heading
Ended up.
Yeah, with the, kind of the tentacle hairdo.
they've almost got dreadlocks to an extent.
Yeah.
I think it does service in terms of introducing a new alien race as well. Like
Certainly.
like taking us away from people that have legs
No more legs.
It expands
or arms.
It certainly expanded my young mind on what was possible.
Did it, in fact.
Mind blown. So that's all I want to talk about. Let's go into Deviations. And I gotta say that my scene is basically the same, except there was no judgment murder scene. In my version of the script, Hot Rod and the Kup and the Kup.
It's like BJ and the Bear.
Yeah,
that's their.
They're just marched onto a cell, and that's kind of how it goes. And that's the only difference.
From now on, I'm going to refer to them as Hot Rod and the Kup.
That is their sitcom spinoff.
1970s.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dun, 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 dun.
Mine is pretty much the same, Aaron. There's not that much different. I just wanted to read some of the lines that they have in here because it's quite ridiculous. Basically, they get herded in. And Kup says there's Sharkticons that are herding them in this, and Hot Rod says, "What are they?" to Kup, and Kup says, "Near as I can make out on the lingo translator, they call themselves Sharkticons."
Lingo translator?
Yeah, he had a translator, I guess.
A lingo translator.
What was that in the Douglas Adams universe? The
Babelfish.
Babelfish.
You put it in your ear, and then they call themselves Sharkticons. Hot Rod says, "Cute. What do they want with us?" Kup says, "I'm not sure, but they keep repeating one disturbing remark over and over. We eat."
Oh, shit.
That doesn't sound good, Caleb.
Yep. And then they lead them into the again, like Aaron, you said, there's no murder situation, but they lead them into that main area. And Hot Rod says, "Holy lithium lilacs."
Lithium lilacs.
That's what my mom's birthday's today. And that's
I'll buy her some lithium lilacs.
please do.
Would your dad be mad if I sent your mom flowers and they showed up a little late?
Nope.
I just love your mom.
Couldn't they be lithium lilacs?
Those don't exist.
We're doing great. So basically, then we feature the leader, Quintesson, who is taller and wears a different color robe. So that's probably clearly this earlier Florodairy design.
Right. He was wearing a robe.
He's watching the arrival of Kup and Hot Rod, and his faces rotate.
Oh, no, he's not.
Yeah, so it goes from smiling face to suspicious face to angry face to furious grimace. And Hot Rod says, "If they had a handsome contest here, nobody would win."
Oh, Hot Rod.
And then the Sharkticons shove and prod them, jolting him into a holding pen, and Kup says, "I hope you get a toothache in every fang, you BB-brained rattletrap."
What the fuck is Kup supposed to be?
Insane. He's out of his mind. I don't...
He's like the stereotype of every, like, busted old Clint Eastwood style.
He clearly has dementia.
And then Hot Rod delivers the line of, "We got to get a new travel agent," and that's it.
He says we've got to get a new travel agent.
That's in the original. They kept it.
They kept it all
They
the
made
way
it
through.
all the way. He said it in the movie.
Wow.
He said it in the movie.
Wow.
Well, Hey, that's awesome. I think it's time to talk. I think it's time to talk about our iconic moment, and Ryan can deal with how he slides that ghost into it. We can.
I'm the ghost of the iconic moment.
You know.
So, Ryan, what is your iconic moment?
I mean, obviously the appearance of Wheelie.
Obviously.
I'm being a funny fuck. But I would say I love the Sharkticon pit is great. I really like that, and the whole like plank and the execute. It's high weirdness of like nothing in this world makes sense. It doesn't matter what you say, you're gonna be murdered. Mm-hmm. It's terrifying.
There's nothing familiar with what's going on there. I just have to second it because I'm lazy.
I don't think that's a lazy seconding. I basically had the same thing. I mean, in terms of no matter what happens, the judgment's the same.
Mm-hmm. You're fucked.
They're screwed. They're in a bad place. They need a new travel agent.
You drop them into a Sharkticon pit.
Cage goes into water. Shark's in the water. Ah, shock. Sharkticon shock. It's Jaws. I watched Jaws this weekend.
Hey, everybody. Please do continue to listen to us on your social media venue of choice. As far as I know, those are iTunes, Stitcher,
As far as I know.
Google Play, and TuneIn. And you know what? We're on social media, and we like to interact on that. Mostly Twitter, but hey, Caleb's
on the Facebook.
all over that Facebook. And
Instagram is real plow, but
that's...
It's
hard to keep up with all that shit, and I'm sure that there is a way to keep up with everything at once. But
until we get that intern.
Wait a minute. You're sure there's a way to keep up with all of it, but...
I just don't know what it is.
I think it's just keeping up with it. Right. If you would like to be an intern, please email us. Let us know.
I'm not trying to be bitter. I'm not trying to be bitter.
We would like an intern. That's a good idea.
Autopod Deceptive.
Turn.
Hey. Hi.
Hey, if the moon was made of cheese, would you eat it?
Would you eat it?
I would.
Just say yes so we can move on.
And of course, there's also our website at autopoddecepticast.com. I think there's a few things that we talked about this episode.
Yeah, a couple of things. By the time we make it to the end of the episode, I never remember what.
Ryan's talking really fast because Caleb's trying to get out of here.
I always talk this fast. You're just talking really slowly. I think that maybe there's a time dilation. You're too close to the event horizon of a black hole. Yeah. And shit.
I have no context.
That's right. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, there's some stuff I'll put up there. I always put up ancillary stuff to the show. I'll put up the floral dairy design for the original Quintesson. I'm sure there's some other things we'll add, but check it out.
Check it out.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, you all know what that sound is. All right, that is the intro to the Autopod Decepticast After Dark, APDCAD. The boys are out of the room, so it's time for us to take out our dicks, take out our pussies, get them hard, get them wet, get them... Oh, let's get them both of those things and fucking just... We're gonna sit here and I'm gonna talk to you all, and you're gonna love it. What are we going to talk about today? Let's see. Well, what's happening? Oh, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. What a ridiculous holiday. That's just an excuse to get drunk. What are we going to talk about today? I don't know what's in the news. Maybe we'll talk about some things that aren't in the news, because the news is depressing. It's not hot and sexy like we want to be in the room. Everybody's touching each other. We've all... Oh,
If we all taking ecstasy, we're just gonna rub like the carpet and touch each other. It's not about fucking necessarily. It's just about being sexy and feeling good, and everybody loves everybody else. And isn't that what we all want? To just be loved and love each other and fucking maybe. I want. Sure, I want to come. Cause like I don't want to do that tantric sex. I don't care what Sting says. Sex for 15 hours? Man, I have a job. I mean, like, come on, how long can sex really last? It's like 5 minutes, am I right, ladies? 5 minutes and you're totally satisfied with the Autopod Decepticast.
Blow cells, where we sell good.